SpaceX is still working on completing its whole Starlink satellite network. When the sizable independent space agency is through with it, the artificial constellation is projected to consist of hundreds of Starlink satellites. That is a significant step toward monopolizing the area. Elon Musk may be able to monopolize space, but will the Joe Biden administration break the monopoly? That's precisely what I will be sharing in today's video. Stay tuned. Is Elon Musk a fraud? Is SpaceX truly a space monopoly? SpaceX's competitors fear Elon Musk's alleged space monopolization. As a result, SpaceX's competitors are now saying that Elon Musk may begin monopolizing space with his hundreds of Starlink satellites. Stefan Israel, the CEO of Arianespace, was the first to announce this concept. Aside from him, other rivals, notably Amazon, are dissatisfied with SpaceX's claimed monopoly. It all began when Elon Musk's Starlink constellation project was approved by the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, a U.S. regulator. With the agency's permission, SpaceX will soon deliver the internet from space and deploy thousands of satellites at a cheaper cost than previously announced. According to the most recent Japan Today story, SpaceX had requested the FCC to launch around 2,800 Starlink satellites into orbit. The space agency also verified that once these satellites are in orbit, communities with poor internet connectivity would finally have access to the internet, particularly those in remote locations. Although Elon Musk's ambition might help many people worldwide, some of its competitors warned that because its Starlink satellites would be put in lower Earth orbit, hundreds of satellites could collide in space. According to Arianespace CEO, "We want space to be available for human activity, but we don't want it to be like the Wild West. It is truly our job to guarantee that low orbit is long-term viable." However, Israel cautioned that because SpaceX is the first to accomplish so, the entire Starlink satellite network might preclude other space agencies from launching their satellites, potentially leading to a space monopoly. Aside from the potential for a space monopoly, what additional issues does SpaceX pose? Some of Elon Musk's rivals have also suggested that the satellites may become unsustainable once the Starlink constellation is complete. According to the Daily Mail UK, this problem arose because competitors argued that having so many satellites in a single orbit may cause radio interference. On the other hand, they cautioned that they might become obsolete if Starlink sent thousands of satellites into orbit. So, will Joe Biden be able to break Elon Musk's SpaceX monopoly? Former President Donald Trump had a distinctly pro-business stance on government restrictions. After all, he was a constructor in a previous life. He had extensive experience negotiating with government bureaucracy to obtain authorization to build his hotels and golf courses. Furthermore, the Trump administration is well aware of the SpaceX's Starship potential as a national asset. The current Biden administration is more likely to take a conventional approach to government regulation. It will see regulation as an essential role in keeping the private enterprise in line and ensuring that it does not exploit the environment for profit. As a result, the government's partnership with SpaceX is likely to come to an end. The government will resume its traditional position as a foe of the private sector. SpaceX will very certainly have to go through the environmental impact assessment procedure all over again. As Timmerman says, the process might take years. Musk aims to get his Starship operational in a few years, if President Biden's administration breaks SpaceX's supremacy. A SpaceX rocket ship variant is a contender in NASA's Artemis human landing system competition for a return to the moon. Musk plans to begin sending freight and eventually people to Mars within the next decade, which many people find impressive. Musk might fund this venture by selling services from the Starlink constellation, a satellite network that promises to bring the internet to every corner of the globe. SpaceX would effectively become a space power independent of NASA or any other government customer. These lofty ambitions may come tumbling down if the present administration of President Joe Biden imposes a rigid control on SpaceX's activities. SpaceX recently completed a historic private launch, yet President Joe Biden has yet to comment on the company's and the civilian flight crew's achievements. Could this be an indication that the US president is uninterested in SpaceX's dominance? Elon Musk criticized President Joe Biden over the weekend in reaction to the president's silence, following the successful splashdown of SpaceX's Inspiration 4 flight, which took 4 passengers on a 3-day orbital journey. The Inspiration 4 mission aimed to raise $200 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. By Saturday, it had raised $160 million. Musk offered to give $50 million personally once Inspiration 4 was launched, bringing the campaign's total raised to $210 million. When someone questioned Musk on Twitter why Biden hadn't recognized the achievement, the SpaceX and Tesla CEO responded harshly. Musk answered in a Sunday afternoon tweet, "He's still asleep," repeating former President Donald Trump's remark, which referred to Biden as Sleepy Joe. Bill Nelson, the former senator Biden chose as a NASA administrator, sent many tweets of congratulations to SpaceX during and after the launch. That'll be all for today's video. Thank you for staying tuned. See you next time.